Hello everyone and welcome back to the Winning Agendas coverage of the OTSL 2023. My name is Jesse Millman Marshall. I have a bit of light on over here. My lamp's carked it. It's a bit better. It's a nice colour. Alright. So 60 minutes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got a decent hand, 2 4-ups, middly scoring, which means our opponent doesn't get it. No huge turn 1 headlines. Not sure if we'll headline to goal. We might actually headline Cambridge 5, but we'll get that setup going and see what our opponent lands on. Yeah, it's a bit... Headlining to goal on turn 1 is nice in a way. You can go like AR1, take France, maybe place one in Algeria, so you've still got France adjacency, that kind of thing. But they can just realign you out of France, so it's a bit awkward. But yeah, I suppose you can go like with so many 4-ups, we can go de Gaulle, takes Portugal, or take Algeria, so that we're only at -1 on realigns, but still being at -1 is not ideal. But it might just be that that's our best play. Because playing against Japan, if they've got the Asia scoring card not as good, does mean we're giving up on the Iran coup. We'll see what their setup's like. It does make it a bit spicier if we get to take them out of France, but this setup means that we don't get to actually... So, say 3 West Germany is funny. 3 France, 3 West Germany. This definitely makes de Gaulle a much better headline here. But it does signal that they've probably got defectors, the 2 in Italy as well. So I'm probably thinking at the moment, headline de Gaulle into the defectors if they have it. If they don't, it's pretty good for us. We would have to go 3 France, 1 Algeria, so we wouldn't have the extra on the realign, but they also don't have West Germany, so we'd still only be at -1. And we would have adjacency if they wiped us out, that we could come back in with the reasonable ops that we have in hand. The other option is to headline Cambridge 5 without going too deep on that, but also assuming that de Gaulle does get defectors, I think we just US, Japan, coup, Italy. So let's go with this, see where we end up. Purge, okay, that makes it a little bit more awkward for us to take France, but I still think it's okay. It's just not great, is it? Because now we can't take it and get the adjacency to move back in. Very annoying to get purged with such a ops-rich hand here. So the other option is coup Iran. Purge is exactly what I didn't want to say. I was fine with defectors, but purge is very, very frustrating. So I might 5-year plan this Middle East scoring, because I just don't think I want to coup Iran here. Taking France without having adjacency is definitely bad. So I think if we play into France, it's play 2 into France and then 1 adjacent, either in West Germany or Algeria or Portugal. I think I prefer US, Japan, place 1, 2, 3, and just see where we end up. There. The other option is if we consider coupping Italy, if they don't realign us out of France here, then we'd rather have the 1 in Portugal, I think. I know we've got adjacency from Austria anyway. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. All of this is going to get undone to an extent because there's a chance we play Marshall Plan here. I still think we're probably more unlikely to play it than likely. We can hold IP War till the AR before that. So we could go Marshall Plan to space. We could event Cambridge 5, depending on how this all works out with their plays here. If they signal that they're trying to solidify Asia domination, we might play Cambridge 5 for the event, just to see if they have the Asia scoring card. Yeah, so I had Truman as well. That's pretty annoying. But it's not the end of the world. So we'll go Comic-Con, I think, 1 into France for the Algeria adjacency. 1 into South Korea just to threaten that for next turn. Keeping DEFCON high disincentivizes them to spread a little bit, which is good. Keeping it that way as long as we're under purge for the rest of this turn. So now our ops getting a little bit light on, but we do still get the ops from 5-year plan as well at the end of the turn, so that's okay. So yeah, probably with our start, the 2 cards we really didn't want to see. I would have much rather have the De Gaulle defectors with the ops that we had in hand. Having so many 3s, like having your 3s turn into 2s and your 2s turn into 1s, it's just terrible on turn 1 as the Soviets. And 4s turning into 3s mean that your amazing plays become open to things like Truman Doctrine and counter coups, and just not quite getting to all the places that you want to get, not being able to fill up things like South Korea and threaten them properly. All of these things result from being Red Scare purged, unfortunately. So 1 in South Korea, 1 in Malaysia. I think we'll try and keep it all open. Try and keep it open in France as long as we can. I think the 1 op from Cambridge 5 is 1 op better, or is a coup better here for us? A 1 op coup. A 1 op coup is pretty bad on a 2-stab battleground. I think I'd rather probably have the 1 Afghanistan. Just keep spreading. We don't need to get Middle East presence for now because 5-year plan is going to throw that away. So I think I will send Marshall to space because it's just a lot of free ops for them in really relevant countries this turn. So we'll space that and we'll play the war if they try and move in here. We'll go, I think, 1, 2, 3. Why is West Germany flashing? That's so weird. Maybe because I have my mouse over it. Oh no, because it's adjacent. I was like, that's strange. 3, 4, 5. Yugoslavia. Are we ever going to fill up Yugoslavia? Don't think so. But Austria being... rear lines being open is really interesting here. I think we'll just overprotect Poland at this point. Yeah, super interesting. Keeping them out of Thailand by keeping DEFCON high is kind of part of the plan here as well. But it's going to be... We're probably going to use the 5-year plan for a coup to get some mill-ops. It depends what they do here. Might just coup Italy. As long as they haven't degraded DEFCON. We may also coup with the Indo-Pakistani War. So 2 Egypt, 1 Pakistan. Okay, interesting. So I think I am going to space Marshall Plan, but the question is, do I move in with one into Pakistan? I think I do here, just to get that access. If they want to coup us out, they can coup us out. And then we're going to go space, and it gives them a pretty good coup on Pakistan. Hey, I don't really want to do that. I think we'll just space this and see if they fill up India and Pakistan anymore. Alright, so no success there. Let's hope that that 5 roll carries over. We'll get some more 5s on our coup roll. Coup roll or coup rolls later this turn. IP war could also be a coup on Pakistan, which is a bit weird, but it's probably better to just war it, isn't it? Alright, so they fill up Pakistan, go India. So it could be Asia scoring here, which would be annoying. But I'm just going to event this for the mill ops as well. Alright, wouldn't have minded the 5 there. So Asia scoring, it's 5 points if they get it. Could have defrayed it if we wanted to. Potentially by doing something like cooing with the China card there, but not a huge fan of that. I guess we could have filled up Afghanistan. That wouldn't have been enough. They got 3 countries. We'll see if they've got the scoring. And if they don't have a coup, then we might get a few VPs back from Millops here. And if they also don't coup, then we might get to double coup Italy. So even if this 5-year plan coup fails, might get to coup Italy again next turn anyway. So this is a very unconventional turn 1. That's what happens under Red Scare sometimes. Our little foray into Europe didn't work out exactly how we would have wanted. They haven't had heaps of ops, but yeah, spreading into Egypt was an interesting call for them. Hopefully with a few more ops next turn, we can make a few more aggressive plays. All right, NATO. They do fill up the European battlegrounds. And then we will resolve the event first. And coup Italy. Clean them out. It's an okay result, I suppose. So we've got a few decent headlines the next turn. It's unfortunate if defectors are still out there. Hope this war succeeds. Nice. So that's a few VPs that we pick up there just from mill ops. Europe scoring means that some very nice headlines here for us. And no defectors. So this is very interesting. So we can headline de-Stalinization here and go into Thailand, but I'm less keen on that with DEFCON at 5, funnily enough. We're going to want to coup with a high ops card in Italy since we have Europe scoring. But we're not going to dominate Europe, most likely. Just because our ops aren't good enough beyond that. We might have to coup with EEU as well, which is not ideal. So we just hope for a really good roll on the Italy coup. So we might just and then just neutralize Europe scoring. So we might headline D-Style. I just don't want to headline it into DEFCON 5. It's super annoying. Like Decol does some of the same things and is still vulnerable to DEFCON, but I guess doesn't commit as much as D-Style. But if we're going to coup AR1 with D-Style, then with EEU, then de-styling these 4 influence away right now is the most efficient way to do that. before they start getting removed. It means we only lose 2 total to destalinization. So they're only going to get 1 coup anyway, so I think destal is fine to headline. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because we've got decol, I think we can go straight into Thailand. Because at least we have an in. So like if we go 1, less inclined to take Angola and stuff as well because we've got decol this turn. More inclined to put more in Central and South America. So it could be Brazil. It could be put another one in Asia, like because of Asia scoring, but I don't think that's right. Like we could go Laos, Cambodia or something, but that's really bad. So we could put another to Thailand, I suppose, in case they've got Asia scoring, but I think 2 destal influence just for those VPs is probably not even worth it. I'm inclined to go Mexico just because we've got decol as well. And I think that's probably where I'll go. So, all right, EU trigger event. So the other downside to this, of course, is that we have CIA created in hand, which I probably should have thought about. But I think, like, realistically, we were headlining decol or destal there, so CIA created was going to become a problem for us. We weren't going to headline CIA created. Attempt coup here. And we rolled well. All right. Things are starting to turn around a bit. A good hand this turn. Decol and destal, very important. And then a good coup roll. So we may actually end up playing CIA next and just seeing if they want to take a 1-up coup, and if they don't, then we'll take it. That's assuming that they coup us in Thailand here. Yeah. So not a great roll for them, which is kind of good because now it means that we can just play CIA, degrade DEFCON the last point by coupping Panama or Iran, but most likely Panama if they don't coup. Downside is that we're showing them decol, but I think that's fine. All right, and we can hold defectors through the reshuffle. We just got to try and sort out this Asia problem, which decol will help us to do. We can sequence our plays correctly here. Venezuela roll poorly, which is kind of good because it frees up our op here. So where do we want to go? I think we probably want to go to... Is it South America spreading? Is it trying to neutralize Asia? Which is kind of hard for us to do. I guess 1 South Korea is a decent play. Spread to Algeria is also decent. I kind of like Algeria, I think, because of the decol coming later in the turn. Middle East presence is also something that we want to do before the end of the turn, but we have a few more ops to do that with. Like, we can force them to respond to our plays by playing into the Mediterranean non-battlegrounds. And maybe there's an argument there that we go into Portugal. Maybe there's an argument here that we go into Portugal if they don't. But yeah, 4 up, I think. Some of this influence is probably... Alright, straight in there. Yeah, so there's an argument for going Portugal here, because they then have to go Canada. We can go Greece with special relationship. So we go Olympic Games, special relationship, but then we have to pull the trigger on Europe scoring. So it's just about whether they've got another non-battleground they can take at that point. But I think that's probably good because it means if they do have Asia scoring, which I'm not convinced of because they probably would have just played at that AR. At least there's something we can do about it. So they've played defensively around our decol. It's just about whether we want to hold off or pull the trigger now on the decol to secure Zaire, but I think threatening the Europe domination is more powerful than securing Zaire at this point. So let's go with that. Yeah, unfortunate that the rest of our hand is a little bit obsolete. But, you know, we had Decol D-Star, we can't really complain about that. Decol D-Star and Defectors, which is pretty nice. Alright, so they take 6 VPs there, we'll take 5 right back at them. Which is a trade that I don't mind all that much considering where we started the turn. We started the turn with the board looking pretty terrible. We've ended up Asia being scored badly, but Europe being scored well for us, which is about as well as I think it could have gone. Blockade, getting rid of Suez Crisis. All right. One going into Zaire. Yeah, so now we go Decol and go Thailand, Algeria, Nigeria, and Angola, I think. We could go Laos, but yeah, actually, I think even though, because we're going to the reshuffle next turn, I think Asia country count is going to be important here. So I'm happy to go Laos. And then we will probably play special relationship somewhere into Asia. Asia or South America? Oh, we need to take a country in the Middle East as well. So we've still got a few good red cards out there. Suez has just gone into the reshuffle. And really beyond that, it's just an extra free country in Romanian and NASA and Fidel. So a few battleground affecting events that could still come out of their hand. Really hope they have NASA here left in hand. So they go 3 up in Thailand. So they're probably going to hold on to that. But now it's just going to be a matter of whether we can force them to trigger this. It's going to be a matter of whether we can force them to country count loss. So we could go South Korea, and I think we'll go Lebanon rather than Syria. So we can go Lebanon, and then Afghanistan. Don't love that though. I think I prefer Lebanon, South Korea, so that we can take South Korea with a 4 up. Let's do that. Holding defectors through means that if we do get one of those nice headlines, like even Europe scoring next turn would be a good headline. Socialist governments, of course, still out there as well. All right, so they did have one of the 1-up red cards, which is nice because it gives us an extra little buffer in Europe. Okay, and we've still got NASA and SocGov. We've got Marshall Plan with UN intervention, which is lovely. Suez Crisis, IP War, not bad. Not bad, not bad. This is a pretty good hand. So SocGov is okay, but I think we're probably happier to use the 3 ops. I think our position in Europe is fine. Probably happier to use the 3 ops for a coup. We might coup with the Marshall Plan. And if we coup with Marshall Plan under UN intervention, do we go Panama or do we go the Middle East? I think we're probably going to headline NASA, although Yeah, we've only got 2 countries in Asia. It's pretty bad. So we know that they've got Korean War here. It's just, did they redraw Asia scoring straight away? It'll be annoying if they have, but there's not that much we can do about that. So Suez Crisis and SocGov, I think we're happy to just bank those for the ops. Oh, we're definitely not headlining Marshall Plan. Don't do that. Vietnam Revolts is okay, but it's not going to save us from a headline. So I think maybe we go NASA and just get aggressive in the Middle East this turn, and then try and shore up South America and have that be our strategy. So we can like go NASA, coup Iran, and then try and spread and out ops them as much as possible. That's probably the best thing we can do. Okay, containment. So it makes the out opsing them part a little bit challenging. So coup Iran or coup Libya, I think it's coup Iran. Or we can just somewhat trap them there by coupping Libya and then taking Iraq, for example, with ops. Right, I think it's got to be coup Iran because we've got IP war. It's a bad roll. It's really frustrating because now it's super easy. Yeah, it's exactly the time we didn't want to roll a 1. Super easy for them to repair. And they're under containment, so everything's just that little bit easier for them. I'm okay about our board position generally, but yeah, that would have been really nice to get that one, but oh well. So I think if we can try and consolidate this turn in the Americas, that's probably the best way we can give ourselves the best chance of winning. Asia is going to be points coming back their way, but yeah, if we can start pulling ahead a bit in those mid-war regions and give ourselves the chance to take some of these southern African countries off them with coups in the mid-war and make these areas a bit more solid for us, I think that would be good. We could have gone Panama for the more long game play there, I suppose. And then a 1 would have been a slightly better roll, although still not significantly better. If they don't repair Iran or India straight away, I think we'll just snap off the coup on a 4+, because flipping Pakistan here would be massive. But I think that's pretty unlikely. Yeah, all right. Frustrating. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. What are we going to fight for South Korea here? Knowing that they have the war makes it like under containment, it's pretty hard for us to fight the ops fight from behind. I think we just take the wins that we've got on the board here. And then they'll probably space the war, I suppose. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll just keep progressing this around, I think, from here. Yeah, the Asia situation is just not getting heaps better for us now without that coup being successful and then a follow-up successful war, unfortunately. Oh, they're giving us the event. Well, that's brave. But like that, well, they must have something else they really want to space this turn, because I think that was a pretty easy space there. Like, if that comes off for us, that's a huge swing in the context of the game. But it did not. It's a 1 in 3. So we're getting Milops VPs again. It's just, yeah, do they have So this is almost certainly going to be filling up South Korea. And then it's just a matter of do they have Asia scoring. All right. One in Mexico. Yeah, probably could have filled that up first, I suppose. Although we do have defectors available for a coup here if we want it. We're going to have to use all our cards, aren't we? Because we're UN intervention. Yeah, so we can't hold Vietnam revolts for a headline next turn if we wanted to try that. So we'll just go ahead. 1, maybe 2, 3, and then spend a few ops filling up. No, I don't think. So if we put 2 in Mexico, they coup. Yeah, I think let's do it. Yeah, sorry, we put 2 in Mexico, they put 1 in Guatemala, then we coup. Well, they can go Guatemala end of turn. Then it gives them a pretty good rail line. By end of turn, I mean AR6. It's not the end of the world, though. Yeah, it's still better. And this leaves us with still 2 to 4 ops to play, depending on whether we want to. That's if we have to coup earlier in the turn. Otherwise, it's 4 ops. Yeah, I think that's good. This is going to let us get most of the battleground countries in South America filled up this turn, and or Indo-Pakistani war, depending if they play into Guatemala or not. All right, they had Europe scoring. Nice. That's a handy little bonus for us. Well, I think we'll play defectors first, and we'll go here. We'll consider, we have the luxury of potentially overprotecting with the amount of ops we have left. I think it's better to just put Vietnam revolts back in the deck and continue taking these battlegrounds now that we've got the access. And also to maybe consider continuing to take, spacing decal. I was going to say earlier in the turn, although I thought it was a bit greedy, I hope they've redrawn decal, but that's, I suppose, the reason why they didn't event the Korean War. So yeah, Vietnam revolt's not doing heaps for us here, so we'll just go place the influence, 1 Argentina, 1 Chile, and then AR6, we might go 1 Chile and 1 Brazil or Venezuela just for the overprotect. Or we might go 1 Colombia potentially as well. Although that does give them the option of coup Colombia to get the mill ops that they don't currently have. So I think it's on balance probably still better to just go 1 extra in Venezuela. Alright, Comic-Con gives us a few extra influence. 1, 2, 3, 4 will do. Actually, we don't need Yugoslavia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very interesting board. So I'm almost certain that AR5 or 6 we're going to see 1 into Guatemala. Alright, Panama, Colombia. Alright, well, we can safely go 1, 2, and move in with control for 8, knowing that we can coup Colombia at some point next turn if we want to, just to try and solidify our control and get the extra 2 VPs off them that they're currently getting for presence. Yeah, Middle East interesting for us here. I think we're probably not going to get to queuing it again very soon, because we're probably going to prioritize queuing Africa and Panama over the next couple of turns. But yeah, I mean, a Muslim revolution would be okay, but not amazing, given that they do still have the one in Egypt. So this has been a pretty brutal hand for them. Korean War decal. Comic-Con's okay, and they have had it all off the back of containment, so they've had a decent chunk, but the Europe scoring was obviously particularly good for us, so that's worked out well. Special relationship, 3 influence. Yeah, so Guatemala, Indonesia, Cameroon. All very reasonable. So we've got grain sales to go to space. Puppet governments is annoying. We may have to hold that over. Liberation theology is still a decent headline here, but not amazing. It's really interesting because it lets us go 1 into Guatemala, like 1 Nicaragua, 1 Haiti, which is interesting, or 1 into Panama and then flip it later in the turn. Try and flip it. Salt negotiations is the other option. Headline salt coup Thailand or something. Or even realign France at -1 for the really wild plays. We get to grab Decol or something, but that's not super amazing. Lone Gunman to see scoring cards is always good, but I think I prefer putting Lone Gunman back into the deck at this point. Portuguese Empire Crumbles is going to be a fine play later in the turn. Yeah, I think I like Liberation Theology just to really try and shore up Central America here. No, Red Scare is pretty irritating. So turn 1 and turn 4, ouch. So I think we'll go 1, 2, and then probably 3, just to really make them put max ops back in and not give them the easy coup on Nicaragua, for example. Although we are possibly going to have to play this Puppets later in the turn and hold grain sales now because we've got some DEFCON issues, although Salt does obviously help us solve that. Guess we can Salt for Purge and then Purge them as well, which is interesting at some point in the turn. So perhaps let's not think too much about that issue. I still think I prefer the other one in Panama here. And then cooing one of the 1-stab countries, I reckon, rather than Panama. Like Panama is a reasonably juicy target off the back of that. But the domination in Africa is pretty annoying. So I think Arms Race is probably the one. Although I wouldn't mind banking the VPs from Arms Race. I think we do want to hold Salt just to let us get out of the grain sales issue that we've got. Shuttle Diplomacy is also possible, although that opens up Middle East domination for them. Yeah, I think it's coup with Arms Race on Panama. Would have liked a slightly better roll there. It's the highest upside play, but we do have this risk in Africa at the moment. Although when you're under Purge, sometimes just cooing a lot is a good way to go. So like coup Cameroon, coup Colombia here could be okay for us, but Arms Race is probably the scoring card for that strategy, and we just use that. Okay. So it's probably coup Guatemala now. I reckon we just use Lone Gunman, get that done. Finally. Although they now get to coup us, and that wasn't an amazing roll. Would have, again, 4+ would have been nice there, just to disincentivize the counter coup from them. Would have been amazing to have Shay this turn. Yeah, alright. So coup Guatemala. That's probably too much for us to coup back. I think we'll just raise DEFCON and try and disincentivize them from realigning. And I think we'll just grab Purge for next turn. Is that what we want to do? What are other options in the discard pile? He hasn't really anything better. I mean, Decol's okay. Sock Cub doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I think getting back Purge is fine. Like, do we want to purge them now, though? It opens up coups. It lets us get coups on Zaire and Angola while Defcon's low. Zaire or Angola, because we're only going to get one. They're going to get one. Going to get one on Nigeria. I guess we just get to play Portuguese Empire Crumbles, which is better. Do that later in the turn. We want to do that later in the turn. We want to do that not at all. It's all just awkward. Assault just lets us like hold these bad cards and maybe space one of them next turn, which is there. So it's probably the order of operations then would be like Salt, then Arab Israeli Water Coup, then Event Portuguese Empire Crumbles. Salt, Arab Israeli Coup, Event Portuguese Empire Crumbles. And then we'd have to like play the Red Scare Purge or something, and then play Shuttle Diplomacy and hold these two. I guess at least it gives us a few operations. And a coup. What's the worst that can happen for us? Defcon at 4. I mean, it gives them a coup into South America potentially at -1, which I don't love. I guess the problem is with not doing that, we end up having to give them puppet governments this term, which I really don't want to do. So I think we do want to do this, as awkward as it is. Being purged was a kick in the guts this turn. I guess we could have got back Decol. Maybe that would have been better on average if we're going to play the card we got back this turn. Yeah, I guess that's another reason why it's better. That's super funny. Well, our stuff was 1 anyway, so it's not a big deal. So we get the Defcon 4 coup here, which is interesting now. But I think it's still the same coup on Zaire. Yeah, it would have been good. So now do they take a coup? We'll see. I guess interesting there, if the Zaire coup succeeds, do they just go the realigns on Mexico and Zaire? They probably would have, but then they give us another coup. Yeah, so definitely should have got Decol. That's quite funny. Their coup succeeds. That's frustrating. So unfortunately now it makes all these like coup non-battlegrounds worse because we played Salt Negotiations. So anyway, let's just do this and try and fix things up in case they do have Africa scoring. Not that it fixes things up, not that it fixes things up entirely. Do we want to space Shuttle Negotiations? It's an open question. Is losing a Middle East battleground worse than, and Asian battleground worse than the 2 ops that we'd gain? Probably is at this point. Like, we'd have to put the 2 ops into the Middle East. Flower power realignment. All right. Oh, that worked out well. Didn't need quite so many ops for the realigns, it turns out. Okay. Well, we'll just repair Cuba there, I think. So pretty strong hand in the end from them. Very nice hand. Reasonable hand from us, but not so good on a double purge. Sadat, okay. That makes the Middle East a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I think our last AR is just space this. Oh, we can't because it's 1 up now. Of course. All right. Well, we shall place some influence then. There's an argument, interestingly, for 1 Zimbabwe so that we can flip Zaire next turn with a 3 up if we want to. I think that might be the way to go. Vietnam, Burma, also decent. Like Malaysia's okay, but pretty iffy. Nicaragua, Haiti, we're just going to get cooed. So yeah, I think I'll go Zimbabwe. It also helps us with country count. Holding 2 bad cards over to next turn here is a bit awkward, I must say. So yeah, that turn, a bit of a train wreck for us, really. Turned out very, very badly from a decent start. I mean, we failed on all our coup rolls. The one on Panama had pretty decent odds of success, and we did very poorly. So we failed on a coup in Iran, a coup in Panama, and we failed the coup on Zaire as well. All of which would have been good. The coup on Italy was very helpful for us. It was a 10 VP flip with those 2 Europe scorings that came off the back of it. But I think that's about the only thing that's gone our way so far this game, in the dice roll terms. All right, Mexico, Vietnam, fair enough. Willy Brandt. So like there is a path to victory for us next turn here with South America scoring if that's the only scoring card that comes out. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scoring cards in the deck. So, Southeast Asia scoring, OPEC's worth 2 VPs. Pretty bad hand for us with the number of good US events here. And this Southeast Asia scoring. So I think we'll just headline Cambridge 5 and take a look. See if they do have the South America scoring and we can make some kind of play for the victory. But yeah, some pretty unplayable cards in our hand now. It's what happens when you hold over 2 terrible cards. We've also found our 2 space race rolls, I think, so far. They don't get rid of South America scoring, far out. That's going to really rub it in if they get rid of that. There is always the possibility that they... Oh, no. I was going to say that they get rid of other things and then draw it, but no. It's not the case. All right, Asia scoring, and we'll go... Yeah, Asia scoring. It's just so bad. We can go 1 Thailand, and then we can flip Thailand, but that's just miserable. I think it's probably the best we can do, though. At least at 4. I'm going to put 1 in South Korea just so that they can't pop it out the first AR so easily. Ugh. There's an argument here for actually flipping Thailand with a China card immediately. And I think that's correct, even giving them the coup with Asia to be scored twice this turn, effectively, or Thailand to be scored twice this turn. I think that's the way to go. We can even grab the China card back if we really want to. Yeah, so now it's a question for them of do they coup. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries, so we're not going to even up country count for ourselves here, no matter how hard we try on our next action round. Most we can get up to is 5. Or we can take them down to 5 and go up to 4 ourselves, either which is going to be insufficient. Ask Nodding away South America scoring. That's just like, that was an amazing Ask Not. Oh man. Muslim Revolution, South African Unrest, and Summit. 3 terrible cards to get rid of. Alright, what did they coup? Algeria. Alright. Well, I think we buy back into Algeria and then put one in Burma, potentially. Because it's worth something for Southeast Asia scoring as well. Taking back the China card before doing that is bad, and we don't really have any other free ops. We want to create a threat here. It would have been nice to get back the China card with Culture Ref, but I think this is okay. It was very handy that they didn't get Africa control there. That would have been pretty catastrophic. Little do they know we don't have another 4 up here to actually take India, but I think we're gonna have to give them something pretty good for them here later in the turn. But we'll think about that later. All right. So now things start to get pretty bad for us. I think we just pop off this Southeast Asia scoring. They can have 7 from Asia, as annoying as that is. They might take Afghanistan. I mean, if they take that for the extra VP, then so be it. So peeved about that South America scoring. It's just all the difference in these games. Where as the Soviets, you invest quite a bit in one of the mid-war regions, like getting control of South America particularly. If they manage to get rid of the scoring card in the mid-game, it's just such a massive swing. Alright, well, I think we're going to coup Cameroon with something this turn. I think we'll do it now. We know they don't have Africa scoring, but I think this is still fine. West Germany's still open, but we just don't have the ops to fight for it this turn, and we do need to get mill ops, so that's the way to go. And the other nice thing about this is now if we flip Angola with a coup next turn or the turn after, we have a really nice realign on Zaire. And once Shea does come out, I'm happy to start attacking Mexico again. So that's fine. It's just going to be getting through these nasty cards that we've got in hand. So we've got play OPEC, play public governments is going to have to come. And then we're going to have to coup. All right, Allende, fair enough. So I think we just take the 2 VPs from OPEC here. It's pretty awkward. We could do the puppets thing and coup Nicaragua. It does set up a nice reline for them on Algeria though too, which I don't love. We're going to have to give them colonial rearguards anyway. Oh no, we're going to space grain sales, and then we're going to hold Usuri colonial rearguards. Maybe we just space grain sales now. Is anything particularly open? Not really. Just the coup in Africa that we want to do. Yeah, let's do this now. Try and... Oh, man. Just cannot get these space race rolls. Like, that's actually such a beating, because if any of these space races has succeeded, we would have potentially opened ourselves up for the double space the next turn. But, yeah, anyway. Just not quite going our way today. But we press on. As always in Twilight Struggles, some things go your way, some things don't. The double Europe scoring definitely went our way. So if we play puppets, they're probably going to go, oh, okay. Thank goodness for that. All right. That would have probably been game if that had succeeded, so I'm glad about that. Play puppets, they're probably going to go Saudi Arabia, Haiti, Nicaragua, I imagine. But I'm not too worried about Saudi Arabia, so I'm gonna, I think, allow that to happen. Saudi Arabia is annoying because it does give them adjacency to Jordan, I suppose, that they don't currently have, which is a reason why it's hard for them to currently get Middle East domination. But I mean, we're gonna have to play puppets anyway, so we'll just give them that and see what happens. Yeah, so I assume it's going to be Nicaragua, Haiti, Saharan states, or Nicaragua, Haiti, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, Jordan. Okay, interesting. Well, that kind of opens things up a little bit for us with these ops, I suppose. So we can just do the coup Zimbabwe or coup... I'm not coup Colombia. Like, so, yeah, I think coup Zimbabwe is fine here. It's better than going like to West Germany or placing into Asia or placing into Saudi Arabia, I think. So, yeah. It flips back domination of Africa, or takes domination off them, even though they've got the 4 battlegrounds. And again, opens up that nice real-line play on Zaire at some point. So now we've got these 3 ups from OPEC or 2 VPs. I think we probably just bank the 2 VPs here, because we're probably at this point trying to head towards eking out a final scoring win. And so every VP that we can get is handy. I don't like taking Israel is okay. That's the only other thing that's kind of standing out to me at the moment. Sudan, West Germany, overprotect Zaire. Yeah, I don't know about that overprotect Zaire. So they've still not taken domination in the Middle East. We have a 3-up, but we can't flip Zai now because they've overprotected it, so I suppose that's handy for them. We can put... I guess we can Kusu down, but that's bad. Yeah, I think we just do this and hope that they don't headline the scoring card. I think that's the way to go. Headlining the scoring card, pretty risky for them, but yeah, they might. Africa scoring, that is. Shago space. That's annoying, but good play from them. All right, ABM Hunter. This is what we want to see. So I think it's ABM headline. Like, we've got Central America scoring. Could be Hunter 2 in Panama, Coup Panama. But anyway, whatever we do, it's got to be one of these two into trying to have a positive Central America scoring. We're racking up the bad to moderately bad cards, so we have to be aware of that. And we've got to dump this Middle East scoring as soon as possible. But if we can pull ourselves over the line for a good Central America scoring, everything else will be hunky-dory here. Just what is better, Hunter or ABM? I think ABM's more likely to flip Panama, and then we can AR1 Hunter into Mexico. If we roll really well, Hunter's better because it lets us score domination. AR1 if we like successfully coup Panama and place into a non-battleground with Hunter, but that's pretty greedy. So I think we just headline ABM. Yeah, that's so annoying, like unbelievably irritating. Oh, it's me. Oh, God. I'm just like sitting here waiting. Let's go coup Panama. Oh. Well, man. I suppose we just gotta hope that this coup is better. It's hard to believe. Well, I think that is probably getting close to all she wrote for us in this game, unfortunately. We're going to lose a bunch of VPs in the Middle East due to investing our capital in Central America and failing miserably. We've got a terrible hand for the rest of the turn. We get one VP out of Central America here. How many are we losing here? 4. We've got a coup Sudan. Might just bear trap ourselves here, actually. It's almost getting to that point. Get rid of the Usuri. Which haven't even been able to overprotect Thailand for the rest of that turn last turn. I suppose that probably would have been a good use of the OPEC influence if we'd used it for influence rather than... Yeah, okay. Rather than BPs. I don't think Middle East is getting better for us, so let's just snap that off. Go on to 2 for them. Could have taken Mexico there, but I'm not super keen on investing the Brezhnev Doctrine in Mexico when they have Guatemala. Probably should have overprotected Thailand there again. Losing an extra VP from them taking Saudi Arabia or something is not really commensurate with the risk of losing Thailand here. Frustrating. There's an argument in retrospect that, you know, it would have been better to coup Africa, like coup Angola, and then have a good realign on Zaire rather than worrying about Central America. But I think the points that were there for us for the taking in Central America just made that play worth it with ABM. All right, well, let's, I think, bear trap ourselves here, and we'll just go like 1, 2... 3. Oh, it's pretty bad. They just get to take Italy off us or something into ARs. That's just terrible. I think we'll just go 1, 2... and 3. Because I wouldn't mind taking Botswana here. So again, if we do coup Angola next turn, AR1, then we get to have very good rail lines in Africa. So we're going to have to go like... Yeah, this turn's still so awkward, isn't it? Okay. I think we have to give them Usuri. They go like... it's really bad. If they go 2 Thailand, 2 North Korea, we go 2 Thailand, 1 North Korea. Then we're a bit open. I want to play nuclear subs late. So I think we space rear guards. Oh my god. Every dice roll. We've had 1 successful coup on Italy, and that is it for the dice for us today. Okay. Well, if we play nuclear subs here, we're giving them 2 ARs, but I think 2 ARs are coups, but I think that's better than giving them Usuri or Bear Trap double turn. And I think we'll play Usuri AR7 and just hope that they roll badly on coups, which, you know, it's not a great place to be, but I think that's where we're at with our current hand. Good. Roll badly on the first coup. So we'll trigger these. Let's see where we end up. It opens them up again, unfortunately, for the, you know, jam into North Korea AR7 play, but I think there's not much we can do about that. So yeah, if they jam into North Korea with a China card here, it's annoying. But not a lot we can do. And we did, unfortunately, with nuclear subs, give them mill-ups, but again, was not a great hand for us, unfortunately, despite the two wonderful cards at the beginning of the turn, both of which failed us miserably. Yeah, so over the next couple of turns, we're really going to have to... Alright. That is nasty. Africa, Central America. Not really any good headlines. Some bad headlines. Like, Cuban Missile Crisis is okay, but then we just get hosed on the Africa scoring. I think we get hosed on the Africa scoring either way. Yeah, like, I think this hand is probably just GG for us. There's very little that we can do profitably. We can Cuban Missile Crisis, stop them cooing. And then, you know, repair Thailand, repair Brazil, repair Algeria, and then what do we do about Africa, which we have to score? We have to coup Sudan, hope that they don't successfully get a non-battleground, which is pretty hard for us to manage. I suppose we can play to Saharan states, hope they don't coup us out, and then try and reline them out of Nigeria, but that's again a pretty bad play, given that they obviously have the coup in the middle. Central America is going to be bad scoring for us. The other option, of course, is to leave some of the things hanging coup Angola, and then they just like get Algeria. But I think that's a higher overall value play because it forces them to spend 3 ups taking Algeria, and we set up good rail lines in the south. So I think not headlining Cuban Missile Crisis is the way to go. Then the question is, do we headline Central America scoring just to get it out of here? Or do we headline something else like Defectors just to avoid losing the VP? I think we headline this just to get the AR back and then go from there. All right, that is fine. And then we will coup with this, I think. Maybe we will coup with Alliance for Progress while it is presumably at its weakest, and we'll go, yeah, Angola, and finally a decent coup roll. All right. So this, you know, puts a little bit of pressure on the Minzai because they don't currently have adjacency, which is nice. And if they don't exactly take Algeria, then we can go like 1 Saharan states, 1 Botswana, and try and set up the like triple realign. Or even 2 Ivory Coast, 1 Botswana, but it's a bit expensive. And we'd be wanting to take Algeria back anyway, so it'd be 1 Botswana, 1 Saharan states, 1 Algeria. But no, they've got the ops, so that's annoying. Okay. So we don't have a 4-up, but we can give them Brazil, I suppose, although that is risking Venezuela. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. I think I want to take Brazil back and put 1 in Nigeria. Sorry, no, we want to threaten South Africa's better. So put, yeah, let's use Cuban Missile Crisis. Place influence, 2 Brazil, 1 Botswana. And that also neutralizes the domination. But more importantly, it puts the pressure on them of the rail lines down here. So Thailand hanging there for the taking for them. Cooing Cameroon. Okay. So we'll just realign South Africa, I think. Yeah, that's the way to go. Okay. You win some, you lose some, I suppose. Yeah, well. So yeah, like even with Cooing Cameroon with a 3-op there, like if they'd rolled a 1, we would have still been there. Ish. Yeah, I think we're a bit stuffed. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to have to then coup with defectors here to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they can just break us. But like we're only, in terms of moving to final scoring math, we're behind, but we're not that far behind. Like if a few more things had gone our way, particularly, I mean, the South America scoring was a massive killer. But this is going to be something that if the roles had been slightly different on both coups and realigns in Africa, we would have been far more likely to be looking at a positive score here. Even that, like, super risky for them. But as it is, that's pretty bad for us. So I think we're just going to give it up and say, there's your 6. Thanks for playing. I'm going to space this NORAD and play the defectors to do something likely relatively innocuous. Finally, a point from space. That's nice. Asia scoring and Middle East scoring to come means they've got, you know, enough victory points to win the game on the board, unfortunately, here. So we do have to be pretty careful of that. Got to hope that Europe and South America scoring come out sooner rather than later. All right, so the double space for them, thankfully, finally a failure. We will just play the defectors. into the Middle East, I think, to try and neutralize some things there. Or do we overprotect our South American battlegrounds? Yeah, I think we've got to do that. You know, Thatcher's still out there for Argentina, which is frustrating, but the only way that we have any conceivable shot of winning this game is scoring a South America control. And we do only have 11 minutes for the next 3 turns, so better hurry up. Okay, that is that. Well, we've got Iranian hostage crisis, Glasnost. Doesn't do a lot for us. War games would have been an out for us at some point. Red Scare Purge, terrorism is not going to do it with Lone Gunman in our hand, unfortunately. I think we do want to purge them though. Oh, that is a good one. Definitely a good one. All right. I'll just pop that one in there. Could this game get any better? Stuck in the bear trap. Stacking the bear trap off the evented 5-year plan. And stacking the bear trap when we actually have a good hand as well. Boy, oh boy. I guess this one, that's probably just lone gunman goes in there, isn't it? Oh, it has to be a 2. What a way to go. No, that's the worst. 1, 2, let's do that. Well. Hey, finally. Might get a turn, or some semblance of a turn here. Okay. We'll grab a run. And then we can grab Saudi Arabia and Israel this turn. It's just a matter of whether getting points from the Middle East is going to be enough. I think we definitely need to like realign Argentina as well. So we can go to Paraguay, to Uruguay, and then put the pressure on to try and be realigning there, which I think is probably good. We can also coup Colombia with lone gunmen. So to Paraguay, to Uruguay, coup Colombia. We can terrorism them just because it puts them down to having to play the China card or lose an AR. I don't think they have South America scoring, or they would have played it already. But yeah, this does put us in decent shape to dominate the Middle East, potentially. Alright. South Africa, Algeria, South Korea. Okay. Maybe the redrawn Usuri? Oh no, we evented Usuri. Redrawn Nixon? I don't know. I'm going to put 2 into Paraguay, 2 into Uruguay. And then we can go like 1 into Uruguay, 3 into Israel. Coup maybe with lone gunman or realign. Depends if we want to event terrorism, I suppose. Either way, I think realigning Argentina here is good. Because if we can go... Asia's going to be what kills us still. But even now, if we get back control in South America, just say South America and Europe scoring come out next turn, we can still make a push for maybe getting there in final scoring, but it's pretty rough. It's pretty tight. Alright, they did have Nixon, they get it back, fair enough. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get that done. So it's probably going to be realignments off terrorism. We might just try with lone gunman, but I think I'd prefer to do it with terrorism. And then maybe headline lone gunman next turn, just see what's in hand. Okay, cool. Don't mind that. 1. 2. Actually, let's see if we can even Asia. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least that gives us a chance. But I think I prefer 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do that. We haven't got much time, so just got to get it done. So let's go realigns 2 times realigns with terrorism. 1 here. Oh man. So what were we? Plus 2. Oh. Yeah, not much we can do about that. Incredibly annoying. Yep. Now Argentina's massively overprotected and going to be really difficult for us to get back. Alright, well, we got South America scoring. Asia scoring, but no way to get rid of it. Pardon me. Iran Contra scandal. Yeah, I think we'll just headline this. Actually, I'm just going to headline this. Because we ain't getting control back. We're not going to get there. Let's just focus elsewhere. Bank those points. Asia's going to be a big problem. We maybe could have jammed into South Korea, but they did have it 1 overprotected. Grain sales, okay. Reagan bombs Libya. So they get the coup. Are they going to try and take one in South America? Probably. And they'll probably roll a 6. And also frustratingly means we don't get to coup Africa. But I guess at least we get to... Oh my god. That's just unbelievable. Oh, I just can't even.